Hey everyone, Sebastian here, back again with more SAT math. This is for the people who took the June test or the people who didn't take the June test. I have questions that I've gathered just from hearing about what's going on the test. These aren't exactly the questions you'd see on the test because when I did that, the video got taken down, but these are variations on that. And if you can do these 3 questions, then you could do the 3 questions I saw the most questions on, the hardest questions from the June SAT. So let's try these out together, and then you'll see what makes these hard and how to make them easy. The equation x minus 24 times x plus 36 equals 0 has roots of m plus root n and m minus root n. What is the value of m plus n? Okay, so we have 2 roots. Roots are all about x-intercepts or the solutions, right? So then here the solutions or the roots or the intercepts, right? They all mean the same thing, x-intercepts. Would be 24 parentheses negative 36. And with m plus some value and m minus that same value, you have those roots. That means m is in between this. I'm thinking about the symmetry involved in parabolas. So m must be something like that. This isn't exactly it because we'd have negative 36, it'd be more over here, but it's just to illustrate the idea. So what's the middle value between 24 and negative 36? I would just add them together, which is 24 minus 36. I get negative 12. That means negative 6. So m should be negative 6. How do we get from negative 6 to negative 36? We would subtract 30. Now, we have square root though. So instead of square root, it'd be square root n equals 30. So n must equal 900. So then m plus n would be 900 minus 6, because m is negative 6, and that would get us 894. Now that solution method is a little abstract, and you have to really be comfortable with the idea of symmetry in parabolas. The other way you could do it is FOIL it out, and then find the solution by foiling and using the quadratic equation, which I'll do now for you all. So let's start again. We're going to FOIL x minus 24 and x plus 36. And we'll get x squared minus 24x plus 36x minus 24 times 36. Does anyone know what that is? 864, right? So now our solution is going to be x squared plus 12x minus 864. Now let's use the quadratic equation, which is negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So here negative b would be negative 12 plus or minus b squared is going to be 144 minus 4. A will be 1. C will be negative 864. All over 2. The 2 gets us negative 6, so it'll be negative 6 plus or minus, which gets us the plus and minus here, correct? Of root 144 minus, so 4 times negative 864 is going to be 144 plus 3,456 all over 2, which becomes square root of 3,600 all over 2. And you're going to be like, oh, Sebastian, you got 900. You messed up on the first part. That one doesn't work. That's not true. This has over 2 in it, so we have to put the 2 into the square root. All right, so now we're going to put the 2 inside the square root. We're going to do 3,600, and instead of a 2, it's going to become a 4 because 2 squared is 4. 3,600 divided by 4 is, that's right, 900. So now again we get m equals negative 6 and n equals 900. And then negative 6 plus 900 gets us again 894. Okay, so if you have questions on this one, let me know. And it's not too bad. It's just kind of this weird concept, but once you understand it, you'll be automatic with it. So let's try 2 more. I've done this one before because it's come up on past tests and people have questions on it, but it came up again on this one, so let's try it out. A pyramid has 6 edges, each of length 36 centimeters. If the surface area of the pyramid is b root 3, what is b? So when we have 6 edges in a pyramid, that means you have a triangular base. It's called a tetrahedron, and then you have this sort of connecting. So you have 4 triangles. 4 triangles, and they're all equilateral. They're all the same because they each have a length of 36 centimeters. There's no changing in the base. So what we do is we'll find the area of one and multiply by 4. So this is 36, 36, 36. Let's find the base. An equilateral triangle has 60-degree angles. So that gives us a 30, 60, 90 when we do it like this. So that means this is 18, which makes sense, half of the 36, and then the 60 will be 18 root 3, which is where we get the root 3 from, here probably. So now the area of this would be the base, which is here. I often make the mistake, and people make the mistake of using this one, but we want to use it for the whole triangle, so it would be 1/2 36 times 18 root 3. You could have just used the 18 from the half already, but this keeps it cleaner. So we're going to get 18 root 3, and that will be 18 times 18. Does anyone have that one? That's right, 324 root 3, and now we're going to multiply that all by 4. And that will give us 1296 root 3. And 1296 equals b because the root 3 gets taken out. So b equals 1296. So it's abstract at first because you can't picture it, but once you know 6 edges means 4 triangles folded together like that, then you should be fine. And just be careful in finding the area of each individual triangle and then multiplying by 4. Don't forget to multiply by 4. Okay, but this is a classic one. Pyramids come up a lot because they're tricky and people don't do them that often. But once you do a few of them, you should be good to go. All right, and here's our last one for right now. Line P is perpendicular to line Q and crosses points -t, 6 and 54, t. Line Q has a slope of -6. What is the value of t? Okay, so if it's perpendicular, that means negative reciprocal. So line P's slope will be -1/6 flipped and multiplied by -1. So P slope equals 1/6. So we're going to set that equal to this using this as the slope as well. So 1/6 equals y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2, right? Something you learned in 7th or 8th grade, probably, maybe 9th grade, but at any point you've learned it. And now we'll do y1, let's say that's 6 minus t, and then x1 negative t. And you want to make sure you're lining them up, right? Since 6 was the first one, negative t has to be the first one, minus 54. That equals the 1/6. So we're going to cross multiply. We'll get 6 parentheses 6 minus t equals 1 parentheses negative t minus 54. The 1's going to go away. The 6 distributes. So we're going to get 36 minus 6t equals negative t minus 54. Now let's add 6t over, add 54 over. So we're going to get 5t equals 90. So that means t equals 18. Nice and clean, right? Not too bad at all. Again, just feels a little abstract because we're using this letter twice. And if you have questions on it, I'd be happy to go over it more, but it's not too complicated a question, even though a lot of people had questions on it from the test. And they had one that was very similar. I don't think it was that different. And that is it for today. Those are the 3 questions I saw people had the most questions on from the SAT. They're not exactly the questions because otherwise I get in trouble, but they're very similar. Trust me on that. If you have questions you want to ask, you can ask them in the comments and I'll answer them in the comments. Always happy to do that. I hope the test went well for you all. If you want to guess your score, I have a video about how to find your score and you can ask me and I'd be happy to help you with that as well. Otherwise, I hope it's sunny where you are. And if it's raining, then I hope the rain is cleaning your windows and watering your plants. Bye.